Hi guys, happy Easter. It's been a while. It's been over a year. A lot's changed since the last video that I made. We've had adpocalypses, we've had mass bannings. Last month we had the withdrawal of support for smaller YouTube channels like mine. We live in interesting times. I didn't stop making videos though, at least not because of anything YouTube did. I had a whole lot going on in my life last year, and it was a pretty rough time for me and my family. I'm not going to bore you with the details, but most of the time I just didn't have time or even the heart to make videos. To be honest, I didn't really have access to most of my IT equipment for most of the year. Still, that email gave me a lot to think about. Not only have they demonetised my channel, they're now taking away any and all support from it. So that if I continue to make content, I'm essentially providing them with a free service. I'm working to make them a profit, while they do basically nothing other than use their existing infrastructure. It's quite an important principle right there. You know, am I willing to work for them for nothing? The background to this is interesting, particularly given my views on feminism. Suzanne Diane Wojcinski, I'm pretty sure that's how you say Wojcinski, isn't it? Who knows? Wojcinski took over as YouTube's CEO in February of 2014. Now, in 2013, the service made $5.6 billion. Now, Google have been a bit cagey about how much it's earned since, but going by the fact that Ms. Wojcinski is still in her job, I'm going to take a wild guess and assume that's probably more. A lot more. You see, there's always room for improvement in these things. And I know the right wing are crying about censorship, but I think most of what's happened on YouTube has got a much simpler explanation. They're just greedy. Most of my videos were demonetised before they were through support. They didn't stop showing ads though. Now, if your channel has had a video demonetised and you successfully challenge it, pay attention. My suspicion is that during that first day or so, the day when you get the bulk of your views, it will still be running ads. Basically, as far as I see it, Google were looking for a legitimate way to shortchange millions of content creators. That was the bottom line. Now, the question is, where does that leave the small channels? I mean, most of the guys I watch, they're not full-time creators, so any ads that I'm watching are lining Google's pockets, not the people that are entertaining me. That hella sucks. Now, if you add in Wojcinski's personal politics and the efforts of her IT minions, well, things get really interesting. See, the girl doesn't like wrongthink. Her trained monkeys are on a mission to eradicate it. Typical feminism 101. The censorship is real, and it's going to keep on getting worse. Mostly it hits the intended target. What they want to do is starve controversial right-wing creators of views and revenue to chase them off the platform. Now, sometimes it hits those on the left as well. The thing is, mostly those guys win their appeals. Yeah, you don't see many Young Turks videos demonetised for any length of time. Now, they won't get the lost advertising revenue back from that first day, but hey ho, you got to pay the ferryman, right? No matter what happens though, it gets our Susie closer to her feminist dream of a family-friendly service with a stranglehold on social media every bit as strong as her employer's stranglehold on the search engine world. And that's going to get worse before it gets better. So I'm not going to lie, is pretty much resigned to never making another video. The problem though, the problem is that my country, like the whole of the Western world, is just slipping into an Orwellian nightmare. Casual censorship is hitting even everyday conversations. There's this growing list of words and topics that you just don't mention in public. Self-censorship and knee-jerk Pavlovian responses are dictating what we say and do. During the London Bridge attack last year, one man was shouting out expletives about Muslims. People were telling him to shut up, it's not Muslims. Now, outside of the pub they were in, the British police in the pub tell them all to lie down on the floor. Good advice, there's a Trojan team going in. But outside the door, people were still being run over and stabbed to death. 8 people were murdered, 48 people were seriously wounded by 3 men that were shouting out, "This is for Allah." Now, if it wasn't Muslims, they were doing a pretty good fucking impression. It's an absolute blight on the land. Our personal freedoms are being stripped from us. We're seeing fortifications getting built on the streets. We've even got soldiers deploying on the rooftops during major public events. We're living in a state of fear, and we're not even allowed to make jokes about it. It's quite the reverse. Marcus Meekin, Kip Dankula, he's got to be sentenced next month for cracking a Holocaust joke. Goodfella was bound over for taking a piss out of a pride event. In the meantime though, adherents of the religion of peace are raping and murdering our children. They're not all Muslims, of course, but Muslim communities are keeping tight-lipped about what's going on, and anybody from another community that reports these atrocities is just getting ignored. And that is going to get worse, not better. Now, don't fool yourself about Dankula. There's not going to be any mass demonstration. Scots are fannies. Our elected officials aren't going to take up his cause. He's completely at the mercy of a broken and corrupted legal system. He didn't even get a jury. But the only thing that we can do is broadcast what's happening on alternatives to the mainstream media. Now, when I started the channel, feminism was assumed to be all things good and pure by the majority of British people. Now today, the majority of British people recognise feminism as a misandric female supremacist movement, and that's down to the efforts of a large number of people taking to social media and highlighting the many, many problems that feminism creates. We could try to do the same with media censorship. Now, we're going to get closed down anyway, even if we don't. So it's not as if we've got much to lose. If you do decide to do it, be careful. Hate speech is something that can get you jail time here in the UK. But until they shut down the social media networks, we can keep on talking about this, and we can try to change public perceptions about what's happening to the West. It worked with feminism. It might work again. Now, casting aside Google's greed and the censorship that's just going to get worse and worse, YouTube is still a great tool for getting opinions and facts broadcast to a really large audience. I think it's about time I started making videos again. Laters, guys.